Alright, guys, welcome to Tell It to Trevor. Today on my podcast, I have Miss Ava Brooks.
Hello.
Alright, Ava, what got you into wrestling?
What got me into wrestling? It's a longer story.
Yeah.
Um, but basically, once COVID hit, I switched to online learning, got into amateur wrestling, boxing, all that. I was training for our freestyle season in the summer and ended up breaking my hand during practice. So I was out for like 4.5 months. Um, we started going to independent shows in the area. And then once we really started going to IWC in Pittsburgh, I saw Katie Arquette, and I think she was wrestling Ray Lynn at that show. It was either Ray Lynn or Ashley Dubois, one of the two. And I was like, this is what I want to do. So I was 14 at the time, and you can't start training up here until you're at least 16. And that's when schools will start looking at you. But ideally, they want to wait until you're 18 because you can't debut up here until you're 18. So I trained for 2 years, got a school that was closer to my house because I was a junior in high school and I still had those obligations to do. But I ended up getting hurt at that training school in February, was out for another 3 months, started training before shows, and then debuted against Katie, which was crazy to me because I had a dream match of mine for my debut on my 18th birthday. So that was also pretty cool. And it's just been going and going since.
If you could sign to any wrestling promotion, which one and why?
This is always hard for me because I like different things about AEW and WWE. Um, but I feel like a lot of the bigger like I'd love to wrestle Britt, Athena, Julia Hart, all of them. Um, but I really want to wrestle like Liv, Rhea, Candice LeRae, the people over there. And I like what Triple H is doing with WWE right now.
Yeah.
So I feel like I would lean more towards WWE. But again, like I'd be more than willing to work with both companies.
Who's your toughest opponent you have faced so far?
My toughest opponent was probably Katie because not only did I have to work through a lot of nerves of it just not being my debut match, but it was a dream match of mine, so my nerves were amplified. It felt like by 10,000. Um, that match also was like a tester match for me because when I left my old training school and I was training before shows, I wasn't with a training school at that point. So I was just working with everybody that I could, which can be a good and bad thing depending on who you end up coming in contact with.
Yeah.
Um, so we were really trying to see where my cardio was at, where my fundamentals were, stuff like that. So as soon as I definitely struggled with some things, and I feel like even myself, I can see a big difference from 4 months ago to the match I just had last night.
Yeah.
Um, we literally, like, the week after my debut, I started contacting Brandon Kay, who runs Rise, and we started getting me up there. So, yeah, that match was very detrimental to what Ava Brooks is today.
What is your top 5 movies?
I have this wrote in my notes. I never deleted it. Okay. Top 5 movies. Moana, I'm obsessed with. I could literally watch it on repeat all day long and would not get tired of it. I'm so excited for the second one to come out. We actually are helping with the show the night before it comes out in Erie for Big League Pro. And I was like I was like, what if What if we just like stay up there and then we go to the movies in the morning just to see Moana 2? I think I might have talked my parents into it, so hopefully. Step Brothers, I really love. My parents had me watch it growing up, so it's just always stuck with me. Beetlejuice 2, I love the first one, but I also love the second one just as much. Deadpool and Wolverine, we went to the movies to see that one as well. Loved that movie. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. And then I couldn't think of like a fifth movie that I sit down and I'm like, mm, I would watch that again and again and again. And there probably is one, but I just couldn't think of it. So I put a musical, which is Hamilton, because technically it's like
It
2 hours and 40 minutes. And as much as they're singing through the whole thing, it's like rapping. So I don't consider it a musical because it's like just talking fast instead of. I mean, there is singing in it, but it's majority just rapping. But I could watch that repeatedly also.
What is your top 5 TV shows?
I feel like it changes per season. Right now, it's Gilmore Girls, Vampire Diaries, Heartstopper, which is newer to Netflix, Emily in Paris, which is also newer to Netflix, and then Love Island for like the reality TV part.
If you had to book yourself in a 12-man tag, who would you put on your team and why?
Okay. I would put probably Liv, Rhea, Britt. Who else do I want to put in there? Maybe two more people. Thea Hale. Does it matter the gender or can it be mixed up?
It could be mixed up.
Okay, and Lee Moriarty. I just did a seminar with Lee not that long ago, and I learned so much from him. So I like one day, if I can, I don't know if it's gonna be possible, but Lee is another one that I hope that I can get in the ring with. I feel like that'd
Yeah.
be a really good match.
I just know it's going to be chaotic because you got Liv and Rhea, and Liv's going to bring Dirty Dom.
Yeah, we might have a little controversy there, but I'll be like, girls, you gotta get with it for a second. We got a match to win. We cannot have this drama. But I feel like it's a very powerful group of people. Plus, Thea came like she trained at Rise. That's where she came from. Um, so like, I feel like it's just all connected in its own ways, and I feel like it could be a masterpiece if done properly.
Well, speaking of Thea, Andre, part of the Chase U group, he's from Charlotte, North Carolina, which I stay in. But a lot of others, big stars too.
Yeah.
Let's see. If you could wrestle any wrestler of any time, who would it be and what show?
Oh, I remember this question. Candice LeRae, WrestleMania, but yeah, it wouldn't even have to be on like the main card. You know what I'm saying? Like it could be on the pre-show thing, but I feel like because we met her at a Toy Hio, and we're kind of built the same, so I feel like we'd be able to work well together and move in the ring smoothly.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Let's see. If you were on a TV show, which TV show and why?
I'd put myself in Gilmore Girls because I love the way that the little town is. It's just so aesthetically pleasing to look at. I'm like, there was actually a town that we saw. I don't know where, like, if we were still in Pennsylvania. I think we were over the border and, like, in New York. Um, but we, yeah, again, don't remember exactly where, but it reminded me, like, of that show. And I was like, I could just stay here. Like, can we just stop for a second? Plus, there's this little festival going on, so there's people. It was so cute. But I feel, yeah, I'd love to be on that.
If you were in a video game, which game and why?
Um, I don't really play video games because between work, school, and wrestling, I don't really have time. But I feel like if I were to be put in one, probably like a WNBA game because I played basketball for 6 years. And originally I thought that's what I was going to do. I wanted to go to college for basketball, but high school politics in a small town doesn't favor certain last names, so it was just I fell out of love with the sport very easily. Um, I wish I like if I start playing basketball with somebody, I still get a little too competitive, and I'll like if I miss a shot, I'll get mad at myself, and I'm like, girl, you don't even play this sport anymore. What are you getting mad for? But I think that's something that I'll always have some sort of passion for, but it's just not there as much as it was.
That's like me. I do ice hockey, and me and my brother were always captains for this league that we play in. It's called D League. So that's all like new skaters, and we're always captains.
Hmm.
But all the players we get, they would always ask us, "Why are you guys so aggressive against each other?" And I'm like, "Look, we've been playing hockey since I was like 8. Okay, I'm 24 now. We've only been on the same team for years.
Yeah.
Every other time we have played against each other. So like that competitiveness is us trying to one up each other, or the family drama that we want to bring on the ice and like lay some punches, beat each other up." All right, let's see. What match before you started training made you want to become a wrestler?
I wish I would know for sure who Katie was wrestling, but I know that it was one of Katie Arquette's matches. I just cannot for the life of me. I was so just like focused on her that
Yeah.
I kind of blocked the other person out because I was just so just like on how she moved in the ring and like what she could do. So I wish I could tell you, but I can't.
All right, and if you could wrestle any wrestler that has passed, but if you beat them, you get their wrestling finisher or move.
You said that's past?
Yeah. So like the WWF, the Attitude Era, WCW, ECW.
Honestly, I don't know how many people we've asked this question to or if anyone has said this, but I know when I know when Bray died, it affected a lot of people.
Yes.
And like I remember that day so like hearing the news, it was horrible. Um but I think I would pick him because I love the Sister
Yeah.
Abigail. I don't do it because like that was his thing and I don't want to try to copy it in any way or whatever. But I feel like if I was facing him in a match to take his finisher, then I wouldn't feel as bad.
Okay. All right, we're gonna start this Trev shock.
Oh. Okay.
All right, I'm gonna go over the rules again. You got 30 seconds to answer these 6 questions. All right, you ready?
I'll never be ready, but just go.
Alright, who was your mentor for wrestling?
Marshall Gambino.
Who is your favorite wrestler growing up?
Favorite wrestler growing up? Randy Orton.
What was your first show you have worked?
I don't remember. I should have looked it up, but I don't remember. All I know is at 2PW on my 18th birthday, so it was June 14th of this year, against Katie. And that's all I remember. I think it might have been. No, it wasn't Back to Business. I don't remember.
What is your favorite wrestling brand?
I can't pick between WWE and AEW because they're so different. And WWE is way more developed than AEW is because AEW is only 5 years old. Um, so I don't think I can pick.
Favorite Looney Tunes character?
We went over this last time, and I said something that was not Looney Tunes. I'm not gonna embarrass myself again like that. But so I'll just say Bugs Bunny because I know I watched it as a kid, but I don't watch Looney Tunes anymore.
Alrighty, guys, that's all the questions I got for Ava. Ava, you got any questions for me?
I'll just ask what I did last time, but our audio didn't work last time, so we had to redo this thing. What got you into podcasts?
I've been wanting to do a podcast for about 4, coming up 5 years. It would have been if I didn't do it. Just about whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then I had a buddy that told me about podcasting and got me more into it. I did some research and went to an actual school for the day to learn what skills do I need to learn, and the best thing they ever told me was just be yourself.
Yep. That's like whenever I first started promos.
Yep.
Horrible. I hate promos. I wish I could just go in and wrestle. The problem is you have to have promos. You have to have promo skills. So the easiest way for me to do a promo is to just talk how I would talk during the day. Just amplify it a little bit, add some attitude when it's necessary, add some more bubbliness when it's necessary. But I feel like I'll always struggle with promos, even though I'm starting to get compliments on them of like how I sound natural. But I don't know, dude. I don't know. Me and promos, we don't get along.
I remember I used to train to be a wrestler down in South Carolina. So it'd be like a 2 to 3 hour drive I would drive just to go train.
Mm-hmm.
And we had a day for promos, but it was self promos. So all you had to do was just talk about yourself. And I was like, okay, cool, this is great. I'll just bring up my hockey career. Cool, great. Comes to my turn. I just forget everything I was going to say.
Yep. It's like, actually, what is my name? What am I doing here again? Where am I at?
Because, see, look, my name is not really Trevor.
Mm-hmm.
So, as a guy that came up with like 6 different character names, and all I had to do was just play it in my head which one sounded better.
That's like, I'm so glad that I kept my first name. Because I feel like if I was at a show and somebody tried to get my attention by calling me a name that wasn't my name at the very start of my career, that's what I was always worried about. I was like, if I have a different name, what if someone tries to talk to me and I'm just like, I just keep walking? Or like, I forget that that's my name.
Yeah.
But keeping my shoot name, so people just calling me Ava, I'm used to it, obviously. I was born with it, but yeah.
I'm used to being called names just because of ice hockey. I will 100% say this was the guy that would give out nicknames.
Mm-hmm.
The goalie we had, I played with since I was little, but we went to elementary, middle school, high school all together, and he had a twin brother
Okay.
that played forward on the same line as me. So I was like, great, this is gonna be complicated. So I came up with the nickname Watsy because at the age of 8 or 12, I don't remember what it was, but he was like, okay, your nickname is Cots. And I was like, cool, great. As long as you don't call me Cheese, I'm good. um, that nickname Cheese haunts me still today because I'm named after Colby Jack Cheese.
Gotcha.
So I
I
tell people don't call me Cheese or Colby Jack.
The two nicknames that I've got so far with like my friends in the wrestling business, because I started helping out at like 15, started training at 16, and then so all of these guys have seen me grow up basically.
Yeah.
So a majority of the people, like the veterans, stuff like that, they'll call me kid. They'll be like, hey kid. Or like wrestlers' parents that I've known since I was younger, if they see me out in public, they don't say my name. They say, hey kid. And then they wonder why they get a weird look when I turn around and I'm like, are you talking to me?
Yeah.
Um, or a really good friend of mine, PB Smooth. Oh my, he's the best. He came out to see me wrestle last night. Um, he calls me little homie or little sis, one of the two. But he's the only one that's allowed to call me that. If anybody else calls me that, I think he might actually beat them up. But um, yeah, definitely. I'm hoping that I just stick with those ones and don't get any more. But yeah.
See, for hockey, I played competitively for high school,
Hmm.
and we always never called like the freshmen.
Yeah.
We call them rookies.
Yeah.
And I remember we had like I think 8 rookies on my rookie year, and they were like, "Hey, rookie, we need you to go fill up water," and they're like, we're all right next to each other, and we're just like, "Oh, there's like 8 rookies here. You can't
Who
really just say,
is
hey,
one?
rookie, go get some water for everybody.'"
One of you. One of you go.
Yeah, because it was a tradition we did before every game. It was one rookie had to go fill up every single water bottle.
Hmm.
So that was 12 water bottles. And then the others had to go out and get coffee for everybody.
Dang.
So you can imagine like how cramped that car was.
Yeah. For sure. I
Especially
don't.
when we all drove like sedans.
I I it was like eighth grade when I quit all high school sports, so there wasn't any really traditions because I only
Yeah.
got to like junior high level. Um, but yeah, I feel like I don't get pushed around easily, and I feel like that's why people don't. I mean, luckily so far, no one's tried to take advantage of me for being a woman in wrestling, because it happens a lot. But like nobody's telling me what to do
Yeah.
unless it's the promoter telling me what I need to do. But
Yeah.
no, no. Why do you see that? It just went like black and white. I don't know what's going on.
On my end, it's just been like staticky.
I was
But
gonna say it's been so weird.
it's because I have my brother, he has an Xbox.
Mm.
And then I own a PS4 and a PS5 that I always leave running. So that internet connection here is always the
Yeah,
worst.
for sure. I feel
And
that
then
we
my
have.
laptop
Yeah, I was
for
gonna
my
say we have
music.
6 people in this house, so the internet sucks. I'm like, Y'all, can you get off your devices so that I can do this real quick?
See, for me, I have my cell phone.
Mm.
I'm gonna have my old cell phone that I record on because when you can't make your Apple payments, it just locks your Apple account, so you can't get new apps.
Yeah.
So I'm just currently just waiting until Friday and then do that, and then dread to Lumberton to do, I think, 6 interviews back to back, all on the same night.
I was gonna say, I did my two, not last week, because last week was crazy. We tried to film this last Sunday,
Yeah,
and I was like in the mix of getting sick. The next day was horrible. I went to school, my teacher sent me home, and then I didn't go to school Wednesday, and I just rested the entire week so that I was good by last night so that I could wrestle. And I'm starting to like finally feel better, and like I was well enough that I wasn't blown up after my match and I was good, but it was it was quite the week.
yeah, sounds like it. That was me 2 weeks ago.
There's
Got
something going
sick.
on.
I got sick right after hockey, and it doesn't help. Like I play in like less than 30 degrees
Mhm.
inside of an arena,
Yeah.
and we're drinking like cold drinks the whole time. And I
Yeah.
had Chick-fil-A before because I didn't want to drive to Chipotle and get my usual pregame meal.
It's like people that's another thing is so I before a show it's doing it again. That's so weird.
Yeah,
Anyway,
now I'm seeing it on my end.
I um I usually don't eat anything because if I have too much stuff in my stomach, I will end up getting sick. I get warm very easily, and if my body gets too warm, I get sick. So I really have to be careful when it comes to wrestling. But like Saturday, I had Chick-fil-A fries and a sweet tea, and I went out with that in my stomach, and I felt fine, but it was just like probably wasn't this like it could have probably gone badly.
Yeah,
Um, but I had to have at, at least something in there.
yeah. Well, see, for me for hockey, I'll put this out. I play at like 10 o'clock at night.
Hmm.
So Chick-fil-A closes at 9 o'clock. Chipotle closes at 9 o'clock. Bojangles closes at 10 o'clock, but it's always like limited food items. There's
Yeah.
Cookout, which I will pass on before getting on the ice.
I wish that there was a Raising Cane's closer to where I live. The closest one is like an hour away, and I only discovered Raising Cane's recently.
Yeah,
I don't think I'd be able to eat it before a match, but if it was
after.
closer, I would love to eat it after my match. Like go back in the locker room and just be like, nobody talk to me. I'm about to eat this.
Yeah, for our locker room, it's so weird. So we're out there. We're all competitive. We're either helping each other or working on drills or having fun.
Hmm.
But when I get in the locker room, I just throw my headphones back on, and I'm like, okay, guys, I'm gonna go like stand outside in front of the boards on the bench and like cool down. And I had some girl. She was talking to me. She's like, why do you always do this? You're always like steaming like crazy, and I'm like, look, I do pregame exercises beforehand. So I do planks for like 15 minutes. Um, hip exercises, push-ups, running back and forth for like 5 minutes.
Yeah. That's like
An
most
electric bike for like 5.
if I start trying to like work out, like I'll do a couple push-ups, a couple squats just to make sure everything's loose if I feel tight.
Yeah.
But if I'm the second one to go out, I'm usually dancing to the person in front of me, their music, because if I start like thinking too much into it, I'm gonna make myself nervous.
Yeah.
And now I'm already nervous enough because like I always get butterflies to go out. But once I'm out there, I'm fine. But I'm not even not trying to make myself more nervous.
And then with hockey, I think I'm like the most. I will put this out and I'm gonna be mad at myself later, but the most not safest person out there for face protection.
Mm.
Because most players they wear like a cage or like a bubble.
Mm-hmm.
I go out wearing like this much protection on my face, just leave it on my teeth, and it don't help. Like when I'm sweating, you'll just see my visor just fog all up.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to push it up. So like now it's all the way up here,
Yeah.
and then every time I have to go block a shot, all you see is my hand just blocking my face. Like please don't hit me. I will sell an injury just to get off the ice.
For last night we did a superplex and in the like obviously bumps hurt.
Yeah.
Whether you want them to or not. But I was like my adrenaline was so high that for a split second I felt nothing and I was like, oh okay, like that wasn't that bad because it was the first one I've ever taken. It's like that wasn't that bad. And
Yeah.
then I got home and the adrenaline was gone and I was like, why did I do that? But yeah.
It's better than mine. I get slammed in the boards and glass,
It's always fun.
and then you gotta watch out for flying objects.
I mean, it's kind of like wrestling. Not gonna lie,
Yeah.
cause not not yesterday, but the Saturday before, I got beat up before the bell even rang, and the guy forearmed me, and I took a face bump on the floor, and then I landed on my hip, so I like spun out on the floor,
Yeah.
and then he threw me into the post, and then pedigreed me in the ring. That was not fun, but yeah.
Now I'm seeing that black and white that you were talking about.
I don't know why it's doing it. Like you can tell that there's color, but it just like if I move something, it'll come back. But
Yep, there it is. Now it's back.
I don't know what it's doing. Oh, it's gone again. I don't know.
Yeah.
Computers are weird.
All right. Well, thanks for being on the podcast.
Yeah, of course.
Hope to see you down the road since I'm trying to make a trip out to Pennsylvania to go check out the wrestling scenes.
There's a ton up here, especially in like the Erie, Pittsburgh area. I'm not sure what's out near like Philly because I don't
Yeah.
go out that way, but there's a ton in Pittsburgh and Erie.
I'll have to check out the Erie, Erie area.
Yeah.
Is that over by Hershey?
No, so Erie's at like up by Ohio in like that corner.
Oh.
And then you have Pittsburgh, Central PA. Then you have like Hershey, Harrisburg, Philly.
It's hilarious. So I actually live in the town of Harrisburg, but in North Carolina.
Yeah.
But I also lived in a part of New York called Harrisburg, New York.
You
And
just
now
like
there's
like the name Harrisburg or
no, just Josh. I lived basically on the outside of Harrisburg up in New York, but if you walked on certain sides of the property on the weather app, let's say you're in Harrisburg. And then you go to the other side, and you're in a different town too.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's a girl that I know, and like half of her house is in one school district and half of her house is in the other. So like she got to pick where she wanted to go to school.
That must be nice. Mine's like right across the school. I mean, right across the street.
Yeah.
All
So it's
right.
like 5 minutes away, but
Mine is it's a 2-minute walk, depending on traffic.
I live in the middle of nowhere, so I don't have to
That
worry about
sounds
people
like
finding me.
lovely.
Yeah. So like the closest Walmart is like 30 minutes away.
That sounds like me in New York. If you wanted to go to Target, Dick's Sporting Goods, Walmart, out to eat, you would have to drive an hour.
Yep.
All right. I will catch you on when I'm up in Pennsylvania.
Okay. See you later.
All right. All right. See ya.